Hey guys, it's Doxa. The playing stages are over for MSI and SKT has made it onto the next round. I'm going to be explaining to you guys why Faker picked certain mid laners in certain situations and what mid laners like myself can actually learn from it. Okay, we're here watching Team Liquid versus SKT, the very first game of MSI, and first pick right off the bat, I do believe Faker here picks Orianna, and it's very straightforward, guys. Orianna is super strong and competitive right now. I would say Orianna is the #1 mid laner in competitive for the last couple of months, actually. Not only is she super strong in terms of stats, she has insane lane priority, she has great scaling, she has a shield and a W that gives movement speed to your teammates, and she has a team fighting ultimate. She's overall, I would say, competitively, one of the perfect mid laners right now, which is also why Orianna recently got nerfed. So Orianna's open, SKT picks it. Why did Team Liquid give Faker the best mid laner on this patch? Well, it's simple. There's a champion called Akali that does well against Orianna, so you can actually leave Orianna up. Okay, let's let them take it, and let's answer it with Akali. In my opinion, I don't think it's very good. I think Orianna is a very easy to play, safe mage, very easy to execute, while Akali has to click a million fucking buttons just to get a kill, and then you could possibly misplay. And at the highest stage, on high pressure moments, it's very hard to play perfectly, in my opinion. So I would definitely favor the Orianna over the Akali, even though Akali's an answer. That being said, it was obviously planned. Okay, let's give him this, and then let's take Akali. So they ended up picking that as well. And if you actually watch the game, the Akali was kind of useless. Now we're on to game 2. Fearless has banned Orianna and Akali, and Cassiopeia has been banned by TL. What is the next strongest mid laner? Well, it's Ryze. It's Ryze, and will SKT pick Ryze? Faker's Ryze, guys. They ended up first picking Ryze. First pick. Cassiopeia is a counter to the Ryze. With Cassio already being banned, Ryze seems like a no-brainer. That being said, you could counter the Ryze with Anivia, but it's not a hard counter. Ryze can just push lane, roam, and in the team fights, Ryze and Anivia almost never interact until a lot of players die, and maybe they're like the last 2 or 3, or last 2 or 1 champions available. Then you'll actually fight head on. So it's not that big of a counter, especially when champions are super strong in the meta. Counters don't really matter too much. Like when Ryze is strong in the meta, it doesn't matter that Anivia counters it, doesn't matter that Cassio counters it. Even if Cassio's open, a lot of people do opt in for that Ryze Cassio trade because the champion is just strong, guys. And that's what 2 games in a row now, Faker's saying, okay, I'm going to pick the strongest mid laner, I'm going to blind pick it, and I'm going to let my team counter pick. So Faker first picked Ryze, enemy team picked their bot lane, and then SKT countered, and then TL answers back with Taliyah. This is such a mid answer. Taliyah matches the wave clear of Ryze and matches the global presence of Ryze. It's a matching pick, not a counter pick. And TL's bot lane just got counterpicked by SKT's bot lane. So right now, because Faker picked Ryze here, they have a massive draft advantage already. Now we're on to game 3, the final game where they actually put TL away. And as you can see, Cassio's still banned. It's going to remain banned. If the champion's banned usually in the first phase of Fearless, it means it's going to get banned throughout the entire series most of the time. And now with all these mid laners banned, what is Faker going to pick? Well, it turns out, because he has a Lee Sin and a Lee Sin and a Renekton, he's going for another utility mid. There you go, Annie. He almost picked Lissandra, but Lissandra is a very risky blind pick. You can get countered by basically any mage like Syndra, and you can just have a very difficult time. Where Annie, you can actually blind pick and get away with bad matchups because of her E. If you utilize E well, you can survive pretty much any bad matchup, even though it won't be too winning. That being said, he picked Annie, and then TL mid laner Quid answered with Galio. So this is a counter. This is a straight up counter. And the reason why Galio is a counter to Annie is because Annie is weak against tanks. Annie is a burst champion. She ults, she tibbers, she wants to burst down one target. But Galio is way too tanky for that. And if Annie Faker finds a flank on Team Liquid's backline, and he flash ults Tibbers onto the backline, guess what? The Galio will ult their backline and negate a lot of the damage. And also, Galio will have superior wave clear in the laning phase, and he can outroam her. And he's also paired with a Nocturne, which makes it even deadlier. So this is a great pick, and I would give the drafting edge to TL, but SKT does have Lee Sin, and it seems like SKT just really like picking strong champions. They don't care that it's blind. They don't care about counters. Okay, strong champion on the patch. It's open. Let's pick it. And we're confident on it. We saw it game 1 with Orianna. We saw it game 2 with Ryze. And then now we're seeing game 3 with Lee Sin as well. Lee Sin's a very, very strong champion in this patch. Okay, heading on to the second series against KC, EU's number 2 region, or number 2 team on their region. Let's see what the draft has to unfold. Let's see here. Okay, so pretty much so far in the draft, SKT's mid laner has not been picked. That being said, KC did have first pick here, and Orianna was open. So he picked Orianna. It's very straightforward, guys. When there's a champion that's very, very strong on the patch, if it's open, you first pick it. Like, it's that simple. So KC first picked Orianna. What did we say earlier? A common answer to Orianna is Akali. And I also mentioned that I believe Orianna has a better time, easier time in that matchup. That being said, we are now at the second ban phase, and notice they have not banned any mid laners. This tells me Kiayu, if I said that right, is saying, okay, I have Orianna, I don't give a fuck what Faker picks. Let him pick Akali, let him pick anything. Let him pick Cassiopeia, let him pick Ryze. I don't care. I'm on Orianna. I can beat him whatever it is. So Reaper, the coach for KC, I'm assuming, says, okay, cool with me. You have the best mid laner. You're the best mid lane champion in the patch, and you're very confident on it. We will ban other champions like the Camille Nautilus to deal with Kyria's support pool, rather than focusing on the mid lane pool. And we're going to be seeing what Faker picks here. They have Jace, Mel, Pike, and Nocturne already. You need to pick a champion that fits with this team comp. Let's see what Faker picks. And then they pick a Scion. His last pick, by the way. Okay, so he ended up picking Akali. And the reason why Akali is good is, first of all, this is the answer to Orianna, even though I don't think it's that good. Akali does really good against Ashe and Seraphine. Her Shroud counters living shit out of both of these champions. And Akali also does well against Neferi. She just stat checks her the whole game through. That being said, let's look at SKT's comp. They have Nocturne, they have Pike, 2 champions that like fighting and that like going in. What do you want to pick with these 2 champions? Well, a champion that also wants to fight and go in. So now you have Akali. So now this team comp here is very flanky and very wanting to fight. So that Akali matches this theme. And also, Nocturne, when is he strong? Level 6. When he has level 6, he starts ganking. He starts looking for his ult. When is Akali strong? Level 6. When she hits level 6, she looks for all-ins, looks for kills in the river. Now that Faker picked Akali, they can do that together. So it's very, very like, not only does this pick synergize with SKT's comp, it also does very good against KC's comp. So that is a very wonderful last pick, and that's what you expect when you have 0 mid laners banned against you in game 1. A good pick like that. Okay, now we're on game 2, and no mid laners are banned. KC take Cassiopeia, which is a very, very strong mid laner. I would think something with a lot of range would do very, very good against Cassio. Something like an Nivea, something that pokes. We will see what Faker goes here. Let's skip a little bit here. And Cassiopeia was also first picked. So KC is also going the trend of, okay, we're just going to pick a strong fucking champion. In this case, Cassio, first game, it was Orianna. And we're just going to slam it. And that's what it seems like in MSI right now. If there's a strong mid laner, just fucking take it and rock with it. And let your team kind of get the picks afterwards. Okay, so Faker went Syndra. That's crazy. Syndra recently got buffed. And Syndra is a traditional counter to Cassiopeia. You don't see a lot of Syndras in pro play in the last couple of months. Actually, maybe the last year. But here we see her. Like Cassiopeia is a champion that has TRX arms, I like to say, which means that she has very low range. She needs to land her Q, and then she needs to E people. Even if Cassio lands her Q and she wants to all in the Syndra, Syndra can Q, E, and push her back. And she can push her back and consistently poke her from range. So this is a great matchup for Faker. The only issue is, let me go back here. They have a Camille, which can actually lock down Syndra, but they also have a Caitlyn. Usually when you have two carries like these that are important targets, it is good to pair them together and not just have one in one team. It's good to have two in a team, because if they have champions like this, champions like the Kiana we saw they pick, they can only kill one of them because they will never be clumped up together to get double killed. It's pro play, guys. No carries are gonna clump up each other and get double Kiana ulted. They're gonna be playing separate, and they're gonna say, hey, you're gonna have to kill one or the other. You can't kill both of us. And if you kill the other one's gonna carry. So I love this tandem here with the carry bot and the carry mid. They ended up picking Kiana and Kiana Renekton, and then SKT rounded this comp up with a tank in Gragas. This is very, very traditional comp. This is old school comp where you go Syndra, Caitlyn, range support, and then a tank top and bruiser jungle. This is very old. This is like 2015 type stuff, and it's still viable, guys. The game changed a lot, but it also hasn't. Okay, we're in game 3, the last and final game. KC first picks Varus, which is another very, very strong champion in the meta. And then SKT just straight up picks Ryze. They just pick Ryze. And this is like consistent with not just SKT, with KC and TL as well. Like, they're just picking strong mid laners and letting their teammates get counter pick, so to speak. And mid lane, there's not a lot of counters, guys. Like, these days, if you're really good on a really good mid laner, there's not a lot of counters, especially in competitive, where things are slower, it's not chaotic. There's very, very little counter picks. So if you just slam a good champion first and let your teammate counter pick, that could be a viable strategy, which we're kind of seeing here throughout the entirety of MSI so far. And KC replies with Annie. So this Annie pick, I'm not that big of a fan of. I think he just ran out of mid laners to pick, honestly, and Annie happened to be just a good one. It is now game 3, and there's already Akali, Orianna, Syndra, and Cassiopeia banned. Honestly, if I see these two champions, Ryze and Jarvan, and I was picking my champion here, I would go Galio. Galio pairs super well with Jarvan, and they first picked Varus, which means they want to play very aggressively in the bot lane. So Galio can help support that with his ult. And it also matches the ult and roaming presence of Ryze. Also, Jarvan's a champion that likes to EQ ult in. What can you do as Galio? You can ult on top of whoever got ulted by Jarvan and naturally peel them and zone away all the enemies that are collapsing towards the Jarvan Cataclysm. So I think Galio would have been the perfect pick here in my opinion. But Kiayu went with Annie. Just a strong mid laner. Nothing too crazy, I would say. We're now in the final series of... We're now watching the final series of SKT. We're now watching the final series where SKT versus Team Liquid once again. And Team Liquid has learned their lesson. Don't give Faker or Orianna. They had banned it, But because they banned it, they left Bard open last time they banned Bard. And now SKT decided to first pick Bard, and then they picked a strong jungler and ADC to pair with the Bard. Because if you don't pick an ADC pair right now, they will ban 2 ADCs in the second phase, and it will be very, very hard to get a good ADC there. That being said, TL went with Ryze. They just said, okay, we're going to pick a strong mid laner, as we've been seeing the trend of, and we're going to ban 2 counters. So they pick Ryze, they banned Cassiopeia, and they banned Anivia, which is 2 counters of Ryze, which aren't even that big of counters, let's be honest, but they are still counters. So they want to take that away from Faker. And because they take these champions away, Faker results into Talia, which is also not that bad of a champion, because this is what he sees, right? He sees these 3 champions, or he sees these 4 champions, and honestly, like, Rel dashes in a lot, Jarvan dashes in a lot. What does Talia have? The rocks that do damage when people dash on top of it, and he can also match Ryze ult with his ult, and match Ryze's wave clear like we explained earlier. So it's not that big of a pick, but it's more of an answer, and it's more of like a, okay guys, we got first pick Bard, we got Kyrie's Bard, and we got a nice AD carry pairing with it. This draft is yelling, okay, let's play bot side. Faker, you're supporting bot side by ulting there, wave clearing, and helping get vision of bot side River, so they can really excel and smash Yon and Core JJ. Okay, we're on game 2 here. And the first 2... Okay, we're on game 2 here, and as you can see, TL has picked Nocturne and Rumble, which is a very good combo together. You can Rumble ult on top of the Nocturne ult while Nocturne fears the enemy. The Rumble ult will be burning them. This is a great wombo combo and pick off combo, I would say. And then SKT replies here with Lee Sin and Lissandra. Okay, let's talk about this. So the series banned right now is Ryze and Talia, and they have banned Orianna, and they also have banned Cassiopeia, and SKT has banned Akali. And you have a chance to blind pick mid here, and you went Lissandra. Okay, I'm not going to question the GOAT or SKT's drafting, but in my opinion, this is good and it's bad. I'll tell you why it's good. Lissandra sets up perfectly for Lee Sin and Jace. These 2 champions don't have much CC, they want setup. Once they have setup, they can follow through. Once they have lockdown, they can burst. It's really good synergizing with his team. Excellent. But Lissandra blind pick can be very scary in the mid lane. That being said, let me also look at these 2 champions that are shown. When Nocturne ults into Lissandra, what can Lissandra do? Lissandra can ult herself and completely avoid it. And while avoiding that, she'll coincidentally avoid the Rumble as well when she ults herself while Nocturne's ulting. So Lissandra here, I guess, what is shown here is a amazing pick. But you are blind picking Lissandra. This is a champion, like I said, TRX arms, very short range, can get bullied by mages. This is saying, Faker saying, okay, I'm going to pick what's best for my team and what's good against theirs. I don't give a fuck what you pick, Quid. I don't respect you. There's nothing you can pick here that will punish me because you're not good enough. I am better than you. That's literally what that means. And they also banned Akali. I think this is a drafting mistake. Akali is not good against Lee Sin, and it's not good against Lissandra. It's also not very good against Jace. And they banned Akali. So I think this is a bit of a drafting error. They should not have banned Akali. Maybe they had nothing to ban, maybe, and they're like, let's just ban Akali. Maybe we will pick Akali in game 3 because it's fearless. And Akali actually fits kind of nicely with these guys here, where you can all just ult in together and look for fights. But Akali here is not the greatest ban in my opinion. And then Quid answers with Sylas. And Sylas is really Sylas is really good with these champions, where they just want to fight, and Sylas wants to fight as well. That being said, against Lissandra, I don't want to see a Sylas. Like, this lane's fine for Quid, and he will be completely fine free scaling in this matchup with his Qmax. But why don't you go something like a Syndra? Like, grow some balls and punish this Lissandra pick. Instead, he wants to pick for his comp, and he's like, okay, yeah, Faker, you're right. You caught my bluff. Like, I'm not gonna counterpick you. So I'm just gonna pick what's good for the comp, which he did, and he can also steal Lissandra ult, which is not that bad, but come on now. You want to be taking advantage of these spots and counterpicking and punishing lane, but he picked Silas. Okay, guys, this is the last and final game, and straight off the rip, there is an Orianna Annie ban. Very strange. They've been banning Cassiopeia this entire series, and at the last game 3, they ban Annie. So this means that TL has something in mind. They have a pick. They're like, okay, we have a pick that is good against Cassiopeia, and we want to use it. Which is very strange, because they could have just done that in game 1 or game 2 and not have banned Cassiopeia and banned something else. But regardless, and then SKT keeps the Akali ban just because she's strong, and I guess Faker doesn't want to play against Akali. I'm very, very curious to what will happen. I mean, here, I'm not sure why they just didn't pick Cassiopeia, because Cassiopeia is a very strong mid laner. Just do what you guys been doing this entire MSI. Pick strong mid laners early, and then let your team pick afterwards. Why not just match the Vi with Nefiri here, and then just pick Cassiopeia? Why not? I'm not sure why not. They pick Renekton instead, and then SKT, of course, answers with the Cassiopeia. Like we said, they just love blind picking strong mid laners right now, and I'm very, very curious to see what Quid picks here. Boom, Galio. Really? Wait, it's a hover. Okay, really? So this entire time you've been banning Cassiopeia to leave it open in game 3 just to pick Galio against it. What the helly? That being said, Galio is good against Vi. If Vi ults a target, Galio can ult that ulted target and peel her or him. And if Nefiri goes in with his ult and targets the enemy carry, Galio can also ult him and join that fight this way. So Galio is a great pick, don't get me wrong, in this draft, but I struggle to understand why they left, or why they banned Cassio every single game and then left it open just for Faker to take it. Like, what is this Annie ban? If they picked Annie here, I would much rather verse Vi, Annie, and Zahin as these 3 than Vi, Cassiopeia, and Zahin. Much rather. And that will be it. I've never done this kind of video before explaining draft. So if you're actually into this stuff and you want to see more of it, please give me a like so I know that you guys do like this stuff. If you guys want to see more educational mid lane content, please leave a subscribe, and I will see you next time.